All right, so today's talk is about self and power over self. I wanted to make this video because I was I was writing in my journal, and I was coming across like words, like keeping my word with myself, right? Saying I'm gonna do something and continuously doing it, and for me at least, I know that keeping my word to myself is harder than keeping my word to others. And I feel like that's because I feel like that's a universal thing. I feel like it's very difficult for people to get on a good track. Like you see it with New Year's resolutions. They only last a couple minutes or a couple days, whatever. But it's easy for it to only last a couple days. It's it, it it's easy to place yourself it's easy to place yourself there only for a little bit because nobody's watching you. Nobody's keeping you accountable besides yourself. And if you can't keep yourself accountable, then you're not going to keep any, like, your word is no good to yourself. And it boils down to self-control. Keeping your word to yourself is the highest form of self-control, because you're actively controlling all of the things that that hurt you. You're saying, okay, well, this harms me, I need to stop it, and I recognize this harms me. But a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't reflect and see what harms them and what helps them, and they develop bad habits. And I'm not saying that, if you have bad habits, you're a bad person. But I will say, if you stick with those bad habits after realizing that they're bad, then you have no self-control. And self-control is the thing that people search for their entire lives. Self-control is something that people will die for, literally die for. And they devote themselves to religion, to external things. They devote themselves to some sort of external entity in order to keep themselves accountable. And I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. If you need God to tell you not to rob, steal, kill, then I'm happy for you. But a lot of people don't want that. A lot of people just want control within themselves. And in an age where there is so little control on anything else besides what you're portrayed as, it's understandable why people don't have self-control. And I don't think that it's like, oh, if you don't have self-control, you're like the worst person in the world. But if you have a lack of self-control, there's something that needs to be done. There's something that needs to be worked on, worked out, gone through, massaged over. Because the lack of self-control can be coming from multiple different sources. It can be coming from trauma. It can be coming from addiction. Something as simple as a phone addiction could lead you to absolutely not control anything in your life. Or nicotine addiction that can lead you to not, it spirals. It genuinely fucking spirals. And I say this like, okay, big example. There Will Be Blood, right? In that movie, he's an oil driller. He gets overcome with power. He finds a lot of good oil rigs, and it doesn't make him a better person because he has no self-control. He sits there threatening people, hitting people, killing people. He gets progressively more and more violent throughout the movie. And we think that power makes us better, better than others, better than ourselves, who we were before. But it doesn't, and it never will. Because power is something external. You're just giving yourself to another external force. Gaining power, working hard towards power, it's like going to church. It won't fulfill you. It won't. But having self-control, leading a good life with respect from the people that you have around you, that's better than any power you could have, because you know yourself. You actively choose. Even if you don't feel like you have the ability to choose now, you can always make that decision to be better. You can always make the decision to leave the mental area that you're in and trade it for progression. And if you believe that you can't, then you won't. Ever. But if you believe that you can, if you believe that you can make the change within yourself, that you can stick to it, and you're holding yourself accountable, then it'll be noticeable. There will be a noticeable change in your energy and your vibration and who you are and how you speak to people. Everything will change, but by little. But you have to keep your word to yourself that you will get better and you must get better. And getting better doesn't mean getting smarter or getting stronger or getting faster. Like that, it's not physical. Getting better is working out the things that you avoid. Getting better is understanding all of the things that you get angry, upset, that you lash out at, that you can't face hearing. You have to tell yourself those things. You have to sit with those feelings in order to become the person that you want to be. Because most people block out the negative for their entire lives. But if you embrace all of the negative things that have happened to you, if you learn from them, if you go back, if you feel them out, I promise you they will not affect you how they have been. And you will be able to get past any barriers that have been put up. Because you're doing it. No one is doing it for you. If you go to therapy, they're not going to outright give you the answers. They're going to work through that shit with you. So figure out how to work through it. Because you can. And that's not to like dog on therapy or anything. Therapy is good. But therapy doesn't hold you accountable. You're meeting with a person, once or twice a week? That person's not going to tell you, hey, keep going. Hey, no. They're going to be like, oh, it's okay that this and this. And no. It's not okay. Learn. Grow. Be better. Because if you're not, then somebody else is going to do it. Not for you, but somebody else will take advantage of that energy. You're only putting yourself at risk if you do not elevate yourself. That's all I got today. Have a good day.